Oh, good afternoon and welcome in for another edition of the Purpose Life. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in, for locking in, and just kind of um, building on this platform for us to come together and grow in community and grow in purpose and just grow together. I always tell you guys, and I don't want it to sound routine. I want you to understand how genuine it is that I truly appreciate each of you that take the time to, whether you watch it live or go back and watch it on the stream, just for us to be able to build in this space and grow in this space. I think we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, man. It has been a time. It has been a time, man. So, I appreciate each of you that logs in each and every Monday, whether it's My Plate, My Choice, or the Purpose Life. Shout out to you all who tune in and lock in so that we can build and grow and just learn together, man. I'm telling you that Mondays are the highlight of my week. Like I just enjoy us being able to just not only grow. I spend time in the Word alone in my personal time, but I think it's different when you can kind of grow in community and grow with others. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all 1,000 times over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now listen. We got to get into something new today. We have had fun probably for the last 5 weeks dealing with the requirement of faith and each part that goes in line with that, right? And that was a great series, but it's really time for us to kind of start to now. We got to expand on that platform, right? So I don't know if you guys ever pay attention, but I put the titles on here so you guys can kind of understand where we're going and what the message is for the day, right? So listen, we're starting a new series today called "Can You Hear Me Now?" All right. New series alert. Can you hear me now? Now, you guys may know that infamous term, "Can you hear me now?" from Verizon, right? The Verizon commercial. I have Verizon, so shout out to Verizon, right? But I remember those Verizon commercials, and the guy would show up in these random places, right? And he would pick up his phone and he would say, "Can you hear me now?" That was really it. And then they would go in to tell you kind of why Verizon was so great. Oh, we got this coverage, blase, 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 right? And so each commercial, he would be somewhere different. Can you hear me now? Boom. Oh, good. You can? Good. Okay, boom. Now, and what it was honestly, it was like a flex, right? It was like a flex on Sprint. It was a flex on Nextel. It was a flex on AT&T. It was a flex on every other phone service to show that Verizon is saying wherever you go, we're so strong, our coverage is so good that you can always hear and do what you need to do by way of your connection through Verizon, right? So it was a flex. And I love that, right? Like that used to be a KO. Can you hear me now? Like that used to be a thing, right? So I did some research and I wanted to know like what did that commercial do for the brand of Verizon? And Verizon, well, the information says that it was a successful marketing venture and that it increased sales by 10 to 15% yearly, right? So imagine like going up, if you're talking about 15% in 2 years, you increase sales by 30%. If you're just going up by 10 in 2 years, you increase sales by 20%. Just on the strength of helping people understand that we've got the coverage that other brands don't have. So wherever you go with Verizon, you've all been places with people, you at a concert or I remember, okay, back in the day, the men's group from the church went to Eufaula. We did a men's trip to Eufaula, right? And it was so funny to me. And y'all know, I go to bat for Verizon like I got stock in it. But listen, on this trip, it was proven on this trip. We were in Eufaula, Alabama on a men's trip, right? And it was so many men trying to use their phones, it did not work. They didn't have coverage. People with AT&T didn't have coverage. People with Sprint didn't have coverage. They're like, man, I can't call. Does your phone work? Nah, man, I ain't gonna. Does your phone work? Yeah, mine work. I got Verizon. I'm getting all my calls out here, right? I'm texting, I'm calling, boom, right? And so guys would be asking, they like literally, I kid you not. If you ask any of the men that went on this trip, they would tell you, like they were asking guys, could they use their phone to like call their wives or call people that, boom, because they didn't have the coverage, right? Listen, I need you to understand where we're going today. All right. The status of your life is completely dictated by your connection to God, your ability to understand that wherever I go in life, I have coverage. Whatever I'm going through, I have coverage. Whatever the situation or circumstance, I have coverage. I'm good. You got to understand, George Matthews III, would be absolutely foolish to put more stock and more belief in Verizon's ability to keep me covered wherever I am than I do in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am not a fool. So if I trust that Verizon has me covered, right? If I trust that Verizon has me covered everywhere I go and I can pick up my phone and use it, I got to trust that my Father has me covered to an even greater degree. So it doesn't matter what I'm facing, I'm covered. It doesn't matter if I'm in the doctor's office, I'm covered. It doesn't matter if I'm on my knees in my prayer closet, I'm covered. It doesn't matter what I go through. There's an understanding that I'm covered because I'm connected to God, right? So it's a beautiful thing about Verizon understanding that coverage. Yes, y'all who saying you got AT&T, y'all raising the bar. Okay, you got to try to raise the bar because you got to try to get to where Verizon is. That's another conversation for another day, right? I'm not gonna mess with y'all, right? So listen, right? The status of your life is completely dictated by your connection to God, your ability to hear Him. Your ability to hear Him. See, when you say, "Can you hear me now?" you are checking to make sure that the person on the other end can hear you clearly. So where you are is reflected in your ability to hear God. And you got to understand that once you hear God, there is always a corresponding action that follows in line with being able to hear God. You don't believe me? I'm going to show it to you. Let's go to Matthew 14:22 through 33. Matthew 14:22 through 33. And I'm going to pick up with, you guys notice this is not a new scripture that you probably haven't heard 1,000 times, but we got to put it in context of what we're talking about, right? So Matthew 14:22. Immediately after this, Jesus insisted that the disciples get back into the boat and cross to the other side of the lake while he sent people home. After sending them home, he went up to the hills by himself to pray. Night fell while he was there alone. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost." But Jesus spoke to them at once and said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Take courage, I am here." Now, let me ask you a quick question. Can I pause right there and ask you one question? Where would we be in life if we understood, no matter the situation, no matter the circumstance, that God always said to us, "Take courage, for I am here"? What does he mean? I am present. I am with you. You are not alone. Why would you act in fear if you understand that you're connected? Why would you act in fear if you understood you were connected? I'm connected to God. Ain't no need of me being in fear. There's no need of me being worried about what's going on around me because I'm connected. So while they fought the storm, while they were in the midst of the heavy waves, Jesus said, "Hey, take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him and said, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on water." "Yes, come," Jesus said. What did I tell you? When you hear God and you understand you are connected to God, there is always a corresponding action that will reflect your ability to hear him. The corresponding action really shows if you heard him or not. So Peter said, "If it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." Jesus said, "That's nothing for me." "Yes, come on." So Peter went over the side of the boat and he walked on water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and waves, he was terrified and began to sink. "Save me," he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him and said, "You have little faith." Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. See, Peter understood when he got the instruction, okay, I'm connected. You told me to come, I'm coming. But what happened? You ever been somewhere and you had real good service, right? And then you take a step to your left or you move a little bit deeper in the room and you start to see those bars drop. You start to lose connection. You were somewhere where the connection wasn't as strong as it were where you previously were. You got to understand, Peter started walking, and because he began to focus on what was going on around him, his connection began to lose strength. He began to lack on faith. And as his connection lost strength, but here's the crazy part, it did not lose strength because of God. That's what you got to understand. The connection was not any weaker because God was weaker. The connection wasn't weaker because God was in a place where he couldn't deliver. The connection was weaker because your faith got weaker based on what was happening around you. Listen to me. There's always going to be things that happen around us. There's always going to be things that are going on around us that could interrupt our service if we allow it to. See, Peter allowed the service to interrupt him, and therefore he was now robbed of the ability to see God continue to move in his life in a way like never before. Tell me who else walked on water. Tell me. See, he did it, which showed the power of God, which showed the power, which showed his faith, but then the signal strength got a little weaker. I'm telling you, there are times in life where we move and we do things, and God has called us to do something. And when we start it, we're fired up. When we take the first couple steps, we are on fire. We are locked in. And as the days pass, that strength get a little weaker. And see, as it gets a little weaker, now you are going to allow things around you to move in place to interrupt you. I'm telling you, you got to remain in a position of understanding I'm connected to God. My signal strength is at 100%. I'm good. Can you hear me now? God, I hear you what you need me to do. I'm connected. I'm locked in. Wait, listen. Okay, hold on. So Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him and said, "You have little faith." Jesus said, "Why did you doubt me? Why did you allow what was going on over there and what was going on over there to make you doubt me? Why did you look at the waves and allow the waves to make you doubt me? I'm still standing here. You focused on the things around you rather than staying focused and realizing you connected to me. And when I told you to come, there's nothing on this earth that could interrupt my words to you." That's what we gotta understand. We are connected in such a way, but there is not a thing in life that can interrupt what God has already done in your life. It can't be interrupted. The service can't get on God's account, it can't get any weaker. On God's account, you will never lose service. On God's account, you're never in a position where you don't have service. On God's account. So then the question becomes, do you realize that you're connected to that? Okay. Let me break this down a little further. Do you guys mind if I read this from my commentary? Do y'all mind? In your house, did you say you don't mind? I think I heard you say you don't mind. Okay, cool. I'm going to read this from my commentary because I want to break down a couple things for you. Matthew 14, I'm going to pick up in verse 23. When the boat was far from shore, they were battered by the waves because the wind was against them. And where was Jesus? He'd gone up to the mountain by himself to pray. Though Jesus was absent from them, he wasn't unmindful of their needs. Boy, you better hear that. While Jesus was absent from them, he wasn't unmindful of their needs. Paul told the Romans that Jesus intercedes for believers. His full-time job is serving as the intercessor between you and God. And he's the perfect one to do so because he's fully God and fully human. He understands God and he understands you. You got to understand what you plugged into. You better understand what you connected to. You're connected to the source that says, I intercede. That's my job, to intercede for you fully. So when you go through that situation that you didn't know was coming, I had already covered you. Okay. I'm going to stay on track. Verse 25. In the midst of the disciples' distress, Jesus came to them walking on the sea. The battering waves was their problem. And that's exactly what Jesus came on. He came to them in an unexpected way so they could understand and experience him as never before. Pause. I need you to understand what it means when you talk about being able to experience God. See, a lot of times we get upset because of the storm. We get frustrated in the storm. We get aggravated in the midst of the storm. But the word helps us to understand that the storm, the problem is just another opportunity for you to experience God like you haven't experienced him before. So you should welcome the storm. You should welcome the waves. You should welcome the aggravation. You should welcome the frustration, because you understand this is an opportunity for me to experience God like I didn't experience him yesterday, like I didn't experience him the day before, like I didn't experience him last year. Because you got to understand, through my experience, my faith grows. Okay. He came to them in an unexpected way so they could understand and experience him as never before. As he'd done previously, Jesus demonstrated his divine authority over the world that he himself created. When the disciples panicked, thinking him as a ghost, he comforted them with his word before he addressed their circumstances. That's when Peter did what no one else would do. He asked Jesus to permit him to join him. Peter didn't want to merely be protected from trouble. He wanted to experience something with Jesus he'd never dreamed possible. So Jesus invited Peter forward, and this bold disciple started walking on water. When he lost focus on Jesus and gave attention to the strength of the wind, however, he became afraid and started to sink. Question: why would we ever lose attention to Jesus? Why would we ever lose attention to Jesus based on the bills, based on the doctor's report, based on what you feel, based on what your family said, based on what your children said, based on your circumstances and your situation being unlike anybody else's, based on it not being as pretty and as cupcake as you want the world to believe it is? Based on that, why would we allow it to distract us or make us lose focus on what we are connected to? Don't be like Peter in that regard. Don't be like Peter. Matthew wants readers to know that this miracle was made possible by Jesus' power, not Peter's. So that's why I told you, the connection always remains strong on Jesus' side. Jesus' cell service is always at 100% on his side. It's never because of him that we have a loss of connection. Never because of him. Before you look down your nose at Peter, though, keep in mind that he was the only one that got out of the boat to attempt the impossible. The other disciples just stared as Peter stepped out on faith. Remember, Jesus rebuked him for having little faith, not for having no faith. Moreover, when Peter began to sink, he knew where to turn. In response to Peter's cry, Jesus caught a hold of him and took him onto the boat, and the wind ceased. This passage shows that Jesus gave supernatural enablement to those who actively and continually trust in him for it. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. This passage shows that Jesus gives supernatural enablement to those who actively and continuously trust in him for it. See, you want to believe big, you got to understand who I'm connected to Jesus. And regardless of what regardless of what's happening, I'm not focused on that. I'm focusing on connection. My connection to him, and my connection to him says that Jesus gives supernatural enablement to those who actively, not one time, not last year. Actively means that it's something you are doing consistently and frequently. He said to those who actively and continuously trust in him for it. See, you trust in him regardless of the circumstances over there. You trust in him regardless of what's going on behind you. You trust in him regardless of what the people in your friend group or your family group or your spousal group, whatever it is, you disregard what they are saying and you continuously trust in him. Why would Jesus intentionally let his followers go through such a fearful situation? Look what happened. When he saved them, the disciples worshiped him and declared, "Truly, you are the Son of God." You may be wondering, didn't they know this already? Yes, they did. But with each new encounter, Jesus increased their understanding and deepened their experience of him. By God's grace, they have been given an opportunity through fearful circumstances to come to know Jesus at a deeper level and worship him. He is the sovereign God who exercises power over all things and wants you to discover that he's bigger than your fears, and he invites you to praise him. When will we understand that Jesus is bigger than anything I'm facing? It's that simple. Jesus is bigger than anything that I'm facing. We've got to focus on the encounter and the ability to grow in faith after each encounter. I'll just say this in your own house. I'm fully connected to the source. I'm fully connected to the source. See, you got to declare that daily. I'm fully connected to the source. You declare that when the situation doesn't look like what you want it to look like. I'm fully connected to the source. You got to declare that over your body when you feel aches and pains and discomfort. I'm fully connected to the source. You got to declare that when stuff happens on your job. I'm fully connected to the source. You got to declare that over your children if you have them and they're not aligning and moving in the direction that you believe or you see their lives moving. I'm fully connected to the source and they are connected by way of my connection. I'm fully connected to the source. I'm fully connected to the source. I'll give you guys, tell you a quick story, right? I'm always amazed when I watch my daughter and how she is with her phone. That phone is like her lifeline, right? And so when Jordan gets ready to go anywhere, Jordan's gonna take her charger with her. Like it is. Jordan keeps her charger with her like most women keep a purse. Jordan's gonna grab that charger. Be like, oh dad, hold on, I gotta run back in the house. I forgot my charger. And I literally mean the plug in, the one joint you plug into the wall, right? That's just my child, right? And so the funny thing is, from 11% to 100% of battery life, Jordan don't care about that charger. From 11% to 100%, Jordan cares not about that charger. It's with her, but she don't care about it because she feels like she's good. Now, when that phone alerts her and says she's at 10%, Jordan's mindset is going to shift and she's going to start looking for a plug, an outlet, a source to plug her cable into. Now, think about it. She has her charger with her. She has to go find the source to plug into to restore or to recharge that power. Think about this. How crazy are we that we go through life with needs? Every day you wake up with needs. Every day you wake up with desires. Every day you wake up having to press through and you're trying to find the answer to your problem. You're trying to find the answer to the solution to your needs. And God says, if you would just understand that you're connected to me, if you would just plug into me as the source, I will restore you. I will show you. I will show you what I've already done. I will lead you to the doors that I've already opened for you. I will lead you away from the doors that I've already closed on your behalf. If you would just understand that you are plugged into me as the source. See, think about it. My daughter's mind doesn't flip that switch until she gets to 10%. Peter's mind didn't realize how much he needed the source until he started to drown and then he called out for God to rescue him. I'm asking you, how long are you going to wait before you call on to the source? Do you wait till your battery is at 3% before you start calling on the source? Or do you say, regardless, I don't care that I'm at 100%, I'm still plugging into the source with every opportunity that I get? What are we talking about? Okay, I'm going to close with this. I got two texts. I just want to show you something real quick. I didn't mean to get so excited. I just want to close this with two texts if you don't mind. Matthew 7:24 through 27. All right. Matthew 7 24 through 27. Anyone who listens to my teaching, it's in red. I always show y'all that it's in red so y'all know I ain't making it up. Okay. Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and flood waters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it's built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and floods come and the winds beat against the house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. Why did I just give you that? Because I need y'all to understand something. What Jesus is saying right here in this text is you got to understand you connected to the source. Can you hear me now? You're connected to the source. He says, so anybody who realizes they are connected to the source and you move by way of your connection to me, you like a house built on bedrock. But he also says you're foolish if you hear me, you know me, but you don't realize you connected to me and you start to move in the opposite direction. He said, boy, your house going to be washed away because you're foolish. You're going to keep experiencing pain because you're foolish. You're going to keep going through it, not growing through it, because you don't understand you're connected to the source. And see, in that encounter, it was something that I was doing in you. See, the disciples on the boat, I think it's key for us to understand that the waves never overtook the boat. They beat the boat up. They shook the boat. They rattled the boat. They had the boat rocking, but they couldn't overtake the boat. You got to understand your situation might shake you. It's going to shake you again and rattle you a bit and maybe knock you off your step. But you got to understand it can't overtake you because you're connected to the source. It is impossible for it to overtake you because you're connected to the source. Last text. Psalms 91. We declare this every Sunday before we start service. And I don't think people really get excited as they continue to declare it over their lives. I think a lot of times we just tend to go through the motions and we just say Psalms 91 and we don't really understand what we're saying. So I'm going to read you two parts of Psalms 91 if you allow me. Psalms 91, I want to start verses 4 through 7, okay? Psalms 91, verses 4 through 7. Verse 4 says, he will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Do not be afraid for the terrors of the night, nor the arrows that flies by day. Do not dread the disease that stalks in darkness, nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Don't dread it. Don't be afraid of it. Understand the declaration that you're saying out of your mouth. When you say Psalms 91, I am not afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. You're saying that you're not afraid because you're connected to the source. And you understand by my connection to the source, these things can't affect me. And if you didn't get it, verse 7 makes it clear. It says, though 1,000 fall at your side, though 10,000 are dying around you, these evils will not touch you. Okay, quick demonstration. Though 1,000 fall at your side. Now, understand, when you say that something is beside you, that means that it is in close proximity to you, right? It's beside me. Like if somebody was beside me right now, they would be in very close proximity to me. I could touch them. They are beside me. I could touch them. So the word says that though 1,000 may fall at your side, in very close proximity to you, and 10,000, well, I should have started on that side because it says, and 10,000 may fall at your right hand. My right hand is connected to me. So you went from being 1,000 at my side to 10,000 at my right hand, which is even closer. God says, I need you to understand how close things will happen around you. But as they continue to happen around you, you got to shout because you know it can't touch you because of your connection to me. It can't touch you. What? 1,000 fall at your side, real close to you. You're going to see some stuff happen over there. Real close, you're going to see things go wrong. Real close, you're going to see the situations get bad. Real close. And at your right hand, even closer, you're going to see even more stuff happen. You're going to see even more things fall. You're going to see even more things come apart, even at a closer proximity to you. But understand and shout and rejoice and declare the victory, because you know it cannot touch me. Why? Because I'm connected to the source. Oh, wait, my bad. I wanted to jump to verse 9 and 10. My fault. I apologize. We closing. Psalm 91. My bad. I wanted to give y'all verses 9 through 10 really quick. Here, because here's the caveat to everything that we're talking about. Verse 9 says, if you make the Lord your refuge, if you make the Most High your shelter, no evil will conquer you, no plague will come near you. Now, the whole reason I'm giving you this is because I want you to understand the emphasis on these two words, if. If you make the Lord your refuge, if you make the Most High your shelter, if you realize you're connected to the source, if you realize the power of the source, these things can't happen. But only if you come to a realization of who you plugged into. I'm gonna stop right there. Listen, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I thank you guys so much for locking in for another session today. I hope that you got something that you can chew on and allow that to simmer down in your heart and marinate and begin to make change in your steps, make change in your process, make change in how you move. All right. And listen, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And I declare God's victory and God's blessing over your life in every area. All right. Y'all be blessed, and I'll catch you later.